Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Bosco Tech Esports stream. Today on the docket, we have League of Legends. Bosco Tech sitting at 5-1 on the season. 5-1? Yeah, so it's week 7. Yeah, it's week 7, not 6. But we are sitting 5-1. Our only loss of the season was due to a forfeit. Unfortunately, some players had some outside things and we couldn't find a reschedule. So all the games that we have played, we have won. Today we are going up against Midnight Suns, who are sitting at 3-3 on the season. Should be a decent matchup. Looking for Bosco, obviously, to take this win today. Looking at the immediate starting bans on the side of Bosco, we do have the Mord taken away from the top lane of Midnight, as well as Zareth taken away for a flex pick of either support or mid lane. On the side of Midnight Suns, they do take away the ADC's Caitlyn as well as mid lane Victor. A bit of a role swap today, just a couple weeks of just trying different things out, and especially with Baby Wood at his volleyball game and not here with us today. We do have Zero in the top lane, so I think that Victor ban a little bit more targeted towards Zero's play. They do see, during the scouting report, a lot of Victor games for Zero in the mid lane, so taking that away, as well as the Ari from Zero, but it is going to be Atomic Logo playing that mid lane today. Final ban for Bosco is going to be Kane, and the first pick is going to be Nautilus for the support of A to Z, Mr. Ryan Hernandez. First pick on the side of Midnight Suns is going to be Mel. Mel, not a bad pick. Did get a couple of nerfs in the last couple of patches. A bit of a rework with how her passive works as well as her Q. Her Q comes out a little bit slower. All those missiles that you see, that's a little bit more predictable, easy to dodge because it was a very fast ability as before. And the same with her root. Her root AoE has lessened a little bit, so it isn't going to affect as many champions on the outside. And it is a little bit harder to hit, but that is also a nice flex support. That could be Mel support in the bot lane for the Tristana ADC. That is going to be the second lock, or it also could be AP Mel going in mid lane. So we will see from their future picks whether that is going to be a support or a mid lane prio. The ADC for Sableye to combat the Tristana is going to be Jhin. So bit of a critical strike battle here, the Tristana versus the Jhin. Jhin, obviously the 4 bullets, locked attack speed. Tristana towards the end of the game is going to have that just ramping attack speed, going to be able to fire out a lot of cannonballs very fast and just output damage. And then the final and third pick of this first round is going to be Galio for, I imagine, the mid lane, but it can be a flex. Zero does have some experience playing Galio, both in mid lane, so he can obviously play it in top lane. We know and have seen many times in pro play that Galio moved around from lane to lane. How's the sound on OBS? Because I know David said the last stream that the mic was quiet, so any viewers, let me know how the sound sounds. I hope it's loud enough. I hope it's not too quiet for you guys to hear me. I know I talk a little bit louder than David does, so hopefully it's good. How close is it to the yellow when I talk? Just about hitting the, yeah, so yeah, that's where I kind of like it. I think that's good. So, I mean, we'll see. I can also pull up stream and see how it's rocking. But the next ban coming out for Midnight Suns is going to be Avoid's Master Yi. Liam has played a lot of Master Yi lately in solo queue, has talked about how much he likes that champ. He does think it's a nice champ to carry. I personally don't think it's a great team pick. I think it is good for rank grind, solo carry when you don't have your full team. You're playing the solo duo queue and you gotta kind of just play your own game and do what you can to win. So they are going to take it away because it is a comfort pick, but not the worst ban for Bosco, as it is not just a great team play pick. And the unfortunately we can't see it, the Bosco Tech name is a little bit blocked out for the bans, but the fourth ban for Bosco is going to be the Yorick top lane, and then the fifth ban is going to be Zahen over from Midnight Suns. Do not want to play against that new champ. Some good maneuverability, some good CC, the passive Resurrect in case they die is just a very good, well-rounded fighting champ. And then the final ban for Bosco is going to be the Jungle Viego. So 2 jungle bans for Bosco, targeting the jungle of Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns, with their third pick, did take the Leona, so that is a Mel mid lane and not Mel support. Leona is going to be the support player for the Tristana. Fourth pick coming over here for Midnight Suns, it is going to be Veigar. Okay. See, this is a little bit confusing because now I don't know where that mill is going to go because Veigar, I mean, known mid lane champion. So maybe Mel top lane? I think that might be a Mel top lane for Midnight Suns, just really flexing that Mel pick up top. I don't know if that's a comfort pick for their top lane, or that's just something that they've been seeing lately and in the game meta. I haven't seen that as much, so my assumption is that Mel is going to be the top lane and that Veigar is going to be mid lane. As we know, like Leona is only pretty much a support, so I don't think they're going to be shifting Leona anywhere. And the final pick for Bosco is going to be Gnar paired with the Pantheon. So we do have two global ults from Bosco. Galio able to use that Hero's Entrance, and Pantheon able to use the Skyfall, get around the map quickly, go and support the team, and then Zero going to be on that Gnar pick. And then the jungle Kindred coming out. I haven't seen a Kindred in a while. So look for the really aggressive play out of the Midnight Suns jungle here, as Kindred does need to go get the marks around the map. That's how they scale. Marks will be appearing in the enemy jungle, and they have to go claim them, as well as claim marks off of kills on the enemy champions. So Kindred, bit of a very aggressive jungle. We'll see how Bosco responds to that. Typically our mid lane or bot lane is more of our weaker linked, and a lot of teams try and expose us through that, but our mid and top have been known to kind of carry. But with the shift of roles with Atomic Logo playing the mid lane, they haven't swapped properly. Bit of a delayed swap there. A to Z now back on the Nautilus. I did see Atomic Logo was on the Nautilus, and they hadn't swapped champions yet. Just doing their pick order a little bit differently. But now we do have a spectator delay that is about I think 2 minutes before we get into game. So the final 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So the final picks for Bosco Tech is going to be Gnar top lane, Jhin ADC, Nautilus support, Galio mid, and Pantheon jungle. And on the flip side, we have Veigar top lane. Not what I expected. Okay, very, very interesting lineup here for Midnight Suns. We have Veigar top lane, Kindred jungle, Tristana mid, Mel AP carry, and Leona support. If their order is correct, and that's what I see, then that is a very interesting lineup. Yeah, we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Summoner's Rift. Minions have spawned.
It hurts so good.
And now getting into the game. We do see an early invade here from Pantheon. Gonna be taking a bit of chunk damage, and I was correct the first time. It is going to be a Mel top lane for Midnight Suns. That is what I assumed. I think their pick order was just a little bit shifted, kind of like ours was. But starting out early, Pantheon looking for an early invade onto Kindred's red buff. Kindred there, ready for it, gonna chunk down Pantheon and leave Liam have to walk back to his blue buff. He is going to be a bit delayed on his farming and his rotations. But a good start already from top lane. I mean, even CS, mid lane Galio already up in 4 CS a few seconds in. For all you new people to League of Legends, the general concept of the game is you are trying to destroy the enemy's base. You can see in the bottom right of your screen there is a map. You need to work your way through 3 sets of towers into your lane, the enemy inhibitor, and then 2 towers which are guarding the enemy nexus, and then once you destroy the nexus, you win the game. Early game is a bit of early game can be a little bit boring. It's called lane phase. You're just sitting there, you're getting gold by killing minions, you're doing like a little bit of chunk damage against the enemy champions and just trying to control your lane and control the map. As you get into later game, you will see a lot more rotations around the map. You'll see a lot more team fights and a lot more action, but the start of the game here is more of just like a strategy. How do you control the state of the game? Like, how do you set your own pace and control how fast you want to play and make the other team make mistakes? And right now, Bosco doing a decent job. Our mid lane up 6 CS, 13-7. Galio leading that way. Jhin in the bottom lane up 3 CS on the Tristana. And Gnar doing very well up in this top lane, up 9 CS on the top lane Mel. Not something super traditional that you see. Gnar taking a little bit of damage, but Mel previously chunked down about a quarter of her HP, so possibly look for an entry, especially as Gnar gets closer and closer to that level 6 and he gets his ultimate. I kind of expect a full dive from the Gnar. This is a little bit hard, I think, with this Gnar against the Mel, especially with the Boomerang, and as well, once you go Mega Gnar and you have that boulder throw, the reflect from Mel could be very nice against that, but Zero, our resident League and Valorant player, knows what they're doing. And there you have it. The Mega Gnar goes in. There's the stun. There's the hop. There's the boulder throw. Mel does hit the root, but it's not possibly going to be enough. The flash forward from Zero, and he finds first blood. First blood going to the top lane of Bosco Tech. That is an extra 400 gold in the bank. And Zero looking for more, looking for some damage onto the tower plates, possibly going to get a full plate. And while being up 16 CS as well as a full kill, this is going to be a huge back for Zero, as he is going to be vastly ahead of this top lane Mel. Already starting, this is looking like the win condition for Bosco. Is can they play through the mid? You can see the jungle for Bosco probably going to start be playing more around this top lane, try to enable Zero to further this lead that he already has. 20 CS up in just 4 minutes. It is looking very good for the top lane. And bot lane just doing what they can, holding their own. Tristana can be a bit of a scary champ to battle against. I mean, the all-in from Tristana can deal a lot of damage very fast, but the range of Jhin is pretty nice, and that 4th shot for Jhin, especially on a squishier ADC like Tristana, can do some solid damage. Mid lane 2, Atomic Logo, not typically our mid lane player, has been playing a lot of support lately, but just doing a bit of a shift around, holding their own against the Veigar. I mean, Veigar is a control mage, basically just wants to stop you from being able to do anything, has a lot of stun, has a lot of damage, but doing well so far, up 6 CS, but Vigar is a permanently scaling champ. Every time that he hits you or does damage to you, he gets more and more permanent damage added to himself. And a bit of an all-in here from the bot lane of Midnight Suns. We do see the Tristana use the rocket jump. Leona going to hit the stun as well as use the ignite, but it's not going to be enough damage to find a kill as the Jhin able to get a decent amount of shots off on the Tristana. So health, a bit of advantage towards the Jhin. Half health to, I'd say, about 40%, but the Nautilus did take a lot of that damage from both the Leona and the Tristana, down to about a quarter HP now. So Bosco playing on the defensive down in this bot lane. And we do see on the map Pantheon down on his Raptors. Kindred also in the bot side of the map clearing out their jungle. First mark is going to be on Raptors, so Liam Hogan going to be able to deny that first mark for Kindred, but they are looking at a possible gank here. Pantheon starting to move down into river. Kindred is there to respond quickly, but currently doing the Gromp. Let's see what Liam might be able to find, and here goes a full in from Leona though. A rocket jump from Tristana, and they find the first kill and the reproc of the rocket jump off of the takedown. Pantheon, though, looking to find a kill on Tristana, but here comes the Kindred. Pantheon might be a bit of an overextension here, as Kindred is going to come in and help get a second kill to the Tristana, and here's a possible kill back for Bosco, and it is going to be a return kill for Sableye. Able to find one in the trade, a 2-for-1 for Bosco. Not the best. I think a bit of an overchase from Pantheon. I mean, once Tristana used that second rocket jump off of the kill to escape, I think you just kind of got to cut your losses and move back, especially this early in the game. But while we say that, in the top lane, Zero just continuing his domination of this top lane Mel, currently sitting at 3-0, almost to a full item, as well as up 60 to 22 CS. That is just a monumental gold difference, but it's going to be a kill onto the jungle. Kindred gonna fall. Galio and Pantheon able to find that, and it's going to be first drag already looking over towards Bosco. Let me step over. We did have our production team unfortunately had to step away, so our camera is no longer on the direct camera, so I'm gonna go fix that and I will be right back. Alright, and now we're back. We'll hopefully be able to see a little bit more action. There is a nice engage from the Galio onto that Vigar. Not enough damage to find the kill, though. Gnar moving down, gets a little bit of vision onto the Grubs. No action from Kindred there. Bosco sitting in a good spot. 5-2 in terms of kills. Not going to go all in. Does find the hook, but there's going to be the ult from the Tristana as well as the rocket jump. There's a lot of abilities flying. Second rocket jump off of the kill, and it's another 2 kills over towards the Tristana. Nautilus found an entry, but the Leona was lying in wait in that mid bush, able to get the stun, able to help the Tristana get another kill. But here's another all-in from Gnar, and it is going to burn the flash of Mel, so a good summoner spell burn from there. Kindred is going to get slowed by the boulder throw, but it's going to be a flash from Zero in Mega Gnar form, and it's going to be an ult burn out of Kindred. I don't think it's going to do much, though, as Zero is going to find another kill, and it's going to be a solo kill. 4-0 now over to the Gnar. Galio all-inning a bit onto this Vigar. Vigar able to find the stun, delay some of that damage from the Galio. Is going to survive about half HP for both, so a decent trade there. But Galio leading the CS advantage 62 to 44, as well as a kill. So decent lead for mid, a very huge lead for top, but the bot lane of Midnight Suns is currently keeping them in this game. I think to win this game, Midnight Suns is really going to have to focus on helping out their bot lane. Gonna really need to play through this Tristana that is going to scale. Tristana already has a full item. A Collector is a very good starting item, especially into a Galio and a Gnar. Just those tanks where you have that lethality to just damage them a lot quicker, and then also that execute threshold. If you damage somebody below 5% health with a Collector, it will automatically kill them. So not a bad first item for Tristana, opting for that just for the extra penetration and damage versus something with a little bit more attack speed. Here we do see Gnar getting some decent damage. Gnar with a 3-level lead on this Mel. This Mel has just not been able to play the game, and there's going to be an all-in from 0 onto the Mel under tower, but it is going to be a trade as the tower does enough damage to give Mel a kill and the shutdown gold. So that is 300 gold for the kill, an extra 326 for the shutdown. But as we say that, we do see the Skyfall coming in from the Pantheon, able to hit a stun on Leona. Leona flashes away, but Nautilus there to hit an ult, to hit a root, and it's going to be a Jhin ult to end. What can Jhin do? Decent amount of damage as Avoids finds the kill on the Leona, but it's still going to be another kill once again going to Tristana and make it a double as they try to invest too much diving her under tower. And Tristana just playing around her support. Leona just tanking a lot of that damage and sacrificing herself for the ADC so that Bosco does not get this additional shutdown gold. Great play by Tristana, phenomenal play by Leona. Leona knew she was dead and just decided to make sure her ADC stayed alive, and that is the hallmark of a true good support. Tristana 5 kills up and 21 CS up. Bosco needs to win through top lane. Midnight Sun needs to win through bottom lane. This is going to be a battle of who can push their lanes faster and farther. Is it going to be the solo lane or is it going to be the duo lane? I mean, the map state here calming down a little bit. We do have dragons spawning in 8 seconds, so see the plays start to revolve around that objective. You obviously, for those who are new to League, you do have these map objectives, which gives your team benefits. So this dragon that you do see Pantheon moving down to, the current dragon is a mountain dragon, which gives your team some more armor and magic resist, so it makes you a lot harder to kill. Pantheon has started the dragon, but we do see the Kindred now moving down, gets a decent chunk of damage into the Pantheon. Pantheon already going to be down about 25% HP. More prio is over towards the side of Midnight Suns. We do see Kindred now going down, getting some vision. But it's going to be another solo kill. 4-0 in this Gnar, 6-1, 111 CS. Galio now all-inning on this Veigar, and it's going to be a Skyfall coming in from the Pantheon. Can this Pantheon find the final damage needed for the kill? And yes, he can. Veigar going to fall for the second time in this map. But the big thing to note, 107 CS for the mid lane Galio, 66 CS for Veigar. So while Veigar has stayed alive for most of this map, not able to get a lot of that farm that Veigar really needs. He really needs some of that CS to constantly be stacking his phenomenal evil, keep getting more and more of that ability power so that towards the later stages of the game, he can just deal ungodly amounts of damage. But as of right now, it is not looking good for mid lane to be able to help support this bot lane. Top lane, I generally don't think is going to be much of an issue for Bosco to deal with. So it really comes down to, can this jungle start getting something going, and what can this jungle do to help aid the bot lane in getting more ahead than they currently are. Galio going to entry here onto the Veigar, though, does hit the knockup and hits the taunt. A nice Q coming in, and it's a good chunk of damage onto Veigar. Gets him down to about 25%, 50% HP. Nice healing from the Veigar after that. Pantheon, though, is going to find and engage onto the Kindred, and it's going to be a very quick death. Zero moves down, lends his support, and Kindred going to fall for the third time. And that does leave the door open, but there's no objectives on the map for them to get right now. Bosco leading with 3 grubs and a Cloud Drake, so they do have that additional movement speed to get around the map quickly. But Midnight Suns did even up the dragons, did find that second drag. and the soul this game is going to be Infernal. So for the rest of the game, we will only have Infernal Drakes. We do see more of the map open up as the map burns away with those map changes based on what the soul is. Infernal Soul, not the worst, gives you a lot more damage, and if you get soul, just increases all of your abilities. So we do see a gorgeous entry, a gorgeous taunt onto the Tristana and the Leona, another stun. 3 stuns falling on the way of Tristana, and Tristana is going to be shut down, and the kill goes over to Gnar. So just furthering this Gnar's lead on the top lane Mel, and Pantheon gonna able to find a stun on Leona. So that is the bot lane of Midnight Suns just getting a bit caught out there, wandering through the jungle, and Bosco's just gonna hop on them and punish them for being there. Meanwhile, the Jhin just sitting in the spot lane, just farming, trying to lessen that deficit that he has against the Tristana. Tristana, 2 full items in her inventory, Collector and Navori, but as I say that, it is going to be another full engage. Ult comes in from Galio, Nautilus doing what he can, rooting, hooking, and then the Jhin able to find the final nail in the coffin to put that Veigar back into the gray screen and send him back to base. 25 seconds until Veigar is allowed to play again. Jhin starting to get back into this game, does have a Storm Razor, is going to back soon after they get the damage onto this tower. Let's see how much gold he has in the bank and what he can buy. What was an even game early on is starting to very much swing into the momentum of Bosco Tech. They are looking comfortable. They are looking sound. Let's see what they can do to keep it rolling. And here we have Zero full entering in onto this mill again. Zero now sitting at 11-1. Some good fights going on. Sorry for the delay in casting. But we are back. Gnar now looking for a possible additional kill onto the Kindred. Kindred, though, pops the ult, is going to stay alive through all of it, but it is going to be another Mega Gnar transformation for Zero, and he's going to find both. He gets a double kill all by himself. Kindred thought he had him caught out in the support there from the Tristana, but it's not enough, as Zero is going to get that transformation, gets that extra health, and gets that extra damage, and finds the 2 additional kills. Zero now sitting at 13-1, looking absolutely comfortable, and it is a pure top lane domination as he continues to roll his way towards the base of Midnight Suns. Bot lane, the Jhin now fully in this game, has the Storm Razor close to his 2nd full item. They have pushed on to the tier 2 tower. Mid lane now working on the tier 3 tower of the mid lane as well. Kindred and Tristana, though, looking for some entry onto the Galio. Galio does have to burn his flash, but he is going to get away safely. Midnight Suns now playing on the back foot. They need to find an answer, and they need to find it fast. This Tristana, which was once ahead, is now starting to slow down from 6-1 to 7-4 and losing the CS advantage that she did have. Bosco Tech looking to take their 2nd drag and continue this momentum that they've been building all map long. we are back as Vasco. Sorry, I had a phone call I had to take. But we are back once again. Normally I'd have another caster with me, but again, our production team had to leave, and it's just me riding solo today. Gnar going to get a decent amount of damage. Kindred, though, going to look for this engage, but he already has the Mega Gnar ready, and there's the ult, but Kindred is going to pop theirs in response. Going to try and survive all this damage, but it's the flash, and it's the kill for Zero. Can he find another kill into the Tristana? I don't think he can, as the Cage is going to come out for Veigar, keep him contained, but Zero going to be able to escape with his life as we see Bosco start moving over towards this Baron buff. There's a lot of damage going in, and it's going to be fast. Baron has been claimed, 2-drag advantage, 27 to 8 kills, as well as a 13k gold lead. Bosco Tech in full control of this game. Expect for them to look for a push down one of the lanes and look for it quick, especially with these Baron buffed minions. Once again, just a phenomenal performance by the top lane Zero. 16-1. Galio doing work, 4-1-9. Some decent support in. Midnight Suns just looks kind of lost. The Kindred, I didn't really like the Kindred jungle choice. It's not one of my favorite jungles if you just don't know how to play around it. And the 0-6-2 seems like it's just not the best pick, but it is going to be once again another kill from Zero, as Galio going to tank a lot of that turret aggro, and they are going to get the tier 2 of bot lane down. Now it is only the tier 3 towers remaining for Midnight Suns, and Bosco Tech is marching some of these minions down the mid lane as Zero is on the bot lane, drawing the attention of the Leona and the Tristana here, but it's Jhin and Nautilus in the mid lane, and that's going to be tier 3 mid tower gone. Jhin now looking to do some more damage towards the inhibitor, but they do have Kindred on a flank, and Leona and Tristana starting to move over. Can they find a kill here? Nautilus finds a hook, finds a root, and it's an immediate second root by the Jhin, and it's going to be a quick kill going over towards the Nautilus. Kindred had an angle but didn't have the support. 2 tier 3 towers down now for Midnight Suns. Galio looking to make it the third, and it's going to be a huge fight here. Tristana rocket jump in, but Grand Skyfall from the Pantheon finds the stun onto the Tristana, finds the kill. Veigar now retreating back to base, almost about to die. Leona going to fall additionally. Mel trying to protect this top lane tower, but she needs to get back and protect the Nexus ones as they are going to fall. The first one down, the second one looking to fall. It is 3 players with Baron buff marching towards the Nexus turret. Bosco Tech looking to take first game, and they are going to do it very handedly. A phenomenal performance by Zero in the top lane, 17-1. Pantheon 7-2, and it's just a dominating win from Bosco Tech. 20,000 gold lead at the end, 32-9 in kills. That does it for game 1. What a game. That Gnar just looks unstoppable in the hands of Zero. Midnight Suns, they had the early lead in bot lane. That Tristana was looking good. Started out 6-1. They had the answer. They really needed to play through that bot lane, but they just were not focused on their win condition, and that Tristana started to fall off. Once that Gnar was able to roam, I mean, you can see it. They're up 100 CS and 16 kills, and once you have that top lane just completely clear and you have that solo lane able to move around and help everybody in your map, and the mid lane pressure of having the Galio global ult as well as the Pantheon global ult to just go and help the team, they were just able to really choke that Tristana out from that lead that she had, and she ends with 7-6. So from 6-1 afterwards, going 1-5, had that huge lead, but the Jhin able to catch up, just sat there in bot lane, farmed his way back up, and Bosco Tech just doing what they needed to do, played through their early win condition in the Gnar of top lane, and they move on to a map 1 victory. And we will be back soon with map 2.
light puns would have brightened your day.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
And we are back for map 2. The bans coming out for Midnight Suns, we do see a shift in ban strategy. It is going to be a Gnar ban as well as a Galio ban for the mid and top lane. They do not want to play against those two again. But it is going to be a Caitlyn ban staying the same for the bot lane ADC. On the side of Bosco, once again, we do have the Kayn jungle ban that is Midnight Suns, one of their main played champions, as well as the Xerath ban. But they are going to swap their third ban over to the Lux, and instead of banning Mordekaiser, Zero is just going to take it from the other team. That is somebody that the top lane of Midnight Suns likes to play, so they are going to use their extra ban on a Lux, and then Zero taking the Mordekaiser away. On the side of Midnight Suns, first two picks coming in are going to be Brand and Leona. We know that Brand is not going to be support Brand, so expect that Brand to be mid lane or possibly jungle, as Leona is going to be that support champion. On the side of Bosco, once again, it is going to be a Nautilus support, followed up by, I imagine, an ADC pick here, if not a jungle pick, as they don't know what they want to have banned. Also, for update, Bosco Tech Overwatch. Since we are not streaming Overwatch this week, we streamed them the last 2 weeks. They are currently winning their match 1-0, looking to keep their undefeated streak alive of having not dropped a map. They have 2-0'd every single opponent they have faced this year, and they are moving on to Kings Row, which is one of their favorite and best maps for the map 2, so hopefully they will be able to do that and keep rolling and doing well that they have all game, or all season, sorry. And the final pick for Bosco is going to be Varus. Tristana, once again, the ADC for Midnight Suns. I don't mind going back to the Tristana and Leona. I mean, I think you started out very well. I think it was a very, very good early game for them. I mean, like we said, Tristana just had the CS lead. They had the kill lead. Like, they were very much ahead of Tristana, or ahead of the Jhin. They had 2 items. They had the Navori and they had the Collector very early on. I think the biggest issue for Midnight Suns is that they just didn't play through it. You didn't see jungle hovering bot lane. You didn't see mid lane coming down to really support bot lane. So I think they just really needed to play more through the Tristana instead of just leaving Tristana on their own to try and keep ramping up. But so I don't mind going back to that pick because it worked well last time. But I think a bit of a counter, Varus trying to stay a little bit further back, does have that ult to snare, and able to get a lot more poke damage with the piercing arrow from the Varus this game. The final 2 bans for Midnight Suns are going to be Victor and Yi, and then once again, Bosco does have a Viego ban for the jungle, so expect possibly another jungle ban here, if not a top lane ban. They have not banned a top lane champion yet, so they may be looking at banning a counter pick against the Mordekaiser for Zero's top lane. Ooh, I forgot to change the map count. Give me 2 seconds.
Your commands tire me!
And the final ban for Bosco. The final ban for Bosco is going to be a Vigar, and it is going to be Gwen jungle, Cho'Gath mid against. Okay, so that brand is definitely going mid, because we do that brand. Ace-Soul top. I think it's Ace-Soul top. If I had to guess, I think they are going Ace-Soul top and brand mid. But it could be swapped with that. We do know that Evelyn is jungle. I mean, Evelyn isn't going to play anything but jungle. They borderline physically can't. So it is going to be Evelyn Assassin jungle. We do have a nice Ace-Soul mage mid. The biggest thing is the only frontline that Midnight Suns really has is Leona. Everybody else on this team is pretty squishy. I mean, they can output damage pretty fast, but they are going to also die very fast. Meanwhile, on the side of Bosco, it is all frontline. We have Mordekaiser, heavy sustain, nice damage, good tank. We have Cho'Gath, obviously one of the biggest tanks in the game, just constantly, permanently increasing that health every time they eat something. We have Gwen, who has really good sustain and good frontline fighting, as well as the impenetrable mist. And then we have Nautilus, I mean, one of the bigger tank supports in the game and a good engage. And so when you have these 4 frontline champions, especially with a fighter like Gwen, that can just tank all the damage, they have some decent CC, they can stop you from moving around, and then you just have somebody like Varus, who can stay very far in the back lane and just shoot arrows and really poke them out. I do very much like Bosco Tech's comp here versus the comp of Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns, I think their biggest thing is they need to find some picks early, and then they need to keep that rolling. They need to support whatever lane starts getting ahead, and then as they're moving around the map, their key, I think, has to be just finding picks. Find the people out of position. Find Zero when he rotates through jungle. Find Cho'Gath when he rotates through jungle. You need to find those individual picks, because I do not think in a full team fight that they are going to be able to burn through the 4 front line that Bosco has, while Varus is able to just deal damage to them. But we got 2 minutes and 20 seconds until the game gets underway with the spectator delay. So thanks everybody who has joined, and thank you for sticking around if you have, and we will see you in 2 minutes. With 50 seconds, we do have an Overwatch update. I know it wasn't too long ago that they said they were entering their second map, but they did win second map on Kings Row, so Bosco Tech Overwatch continues their unbeaten streak of not having dropped a single map all season long, 2-0ing their opponents today once again. Big congratulations to Bosco Tech Overwatch as they continue their march towards this playoff push. Roadhog on Kings Row? Did you guys do the Symmetra strat? On top of the tower and then you just dropped on the point? If you can get it on top of the tower, because you can do it right from the start. Like, you can literally just get it on top and then drop down onto site. And here we go. Map 2, Bosco Tech 1 up. Oh, actually, it's Mordekaiser Jungle. I was mistaken. It is Gwen top, Mordekaiser Jungle, Cho'Gath mid, and then the Varus not bot lane. And it is, like I said, Brand top, Aesol mid. Either one could have gone either. And then Evelynn jungle, and then the Tristana Leona bot lane to round it all out. I need to go turn on objective timers. Give me 20 seconds.
Let 'em come by land, by sea or air.
Alright, and we are back. Early stage here, we do see both Evelynn and Mordekaiser going to be starting in their top jungles, so going to get that level 3, move down to their bot jungle, and then possibly look on the bottom entry. But as I say that, there's already some decent fighting going on the bot lane. Nautilus going to find a good hook and root on Tristana. Does make Tristana have to burn both Flash and Barrier, so both summoner spells down for the Tristana. So expect the next entry very quickly for Bosco, but Tristana is going to back, so not going to be too quick of a re-entry from Bosco. But the next time they do decide to enter, Tristana is not going to be able to survive quite as well as she has before. This top lane already down in CS. 18 to 12. I mean, it was a little bit worse, but just kind of collecting wave near the tower as Brand is going to burn them away. Very interested to see how this Cho'Gath mid works for Atomic Logo. He has mentioned playing it before in some of his ranked games. He seems to like it. I'm not the biggest fan. But hey, I mean, if you're comfortable and you think you can win with it, I'm all for it. There is something to say about comfort picks, even if it's not a traditional pick you'd see like in the meta. But Atomic Logo seems so far comfortable with it, keeping even CS with the Aesol. But it is going to be a dash forward and a nice snip from Zero, as he is going to get some decent damage into the Brand, but he is going to take a tower shot, which is going to force him to back off and not able to find that kill. Brand now going to recall, so expect some decent tower damage to come in for the Gwen. Mordekaiser looking to get this first scuttle, but he is going to be contested by the Evelynn. Aesol now moving down to help with this scuttle fight. But it's not going to be enough Atomic Logo there to support. Good knock-up on the Evelynn, forces Evelynn to have to back off. So Bosco Tech in early vision control of this bot lane. Evelynn is going to back, so Mordekaiser, if he was aware of it, could have gone and gotten this top lane scuttle, but Mordekaiser also going to back as well. Both jungles looking to purchase their first component. It is going to be a blasting rod for Mordekaiser and only a tome. Oh, a tome and a dark seal for Evelynn. So there it is, the classic dark seal for Evelynn. Dark seal, as you get kills, it gives you additional stacks, which gives you more damage, but if you die, you lose those stacks. So Evelynn is a jungler who likes fighting a lot more than farming camps to level up. So especially with that dark seal too, expect Evelynn to look for a lot of ganks here. Bot lane though, looks like they're looking a little close here. 28 CS to 24. Tristana did have to back early. Top lane, once again, Zero early lead. Early commanding lead. Zero just very comfortable in that top lane right now. Is normally a mid lane player, but has been playing a lot of top lane lately, both in solo queue and also just to get prepared of when he has to fill in for our resident top laner. But sitting at a good 20 CS advantage, getting back to lane now after having backed and able to buy both boots and a Codex. But it is going to be first blood to Atomic Logo, and the Cho'Gath gets the kill, flashes away to stay alive. So no trade for Midnight Suns, as Cho'Gath able to find that nice first kill. And then moving back to lane with a giant spell. Aesol gonna TP back, so expect Cho'Gath to just recall here, buy a couple items, especially with that additional 400 gold, and get right back into the fight. dragon has spawned. First dragon is going to be a Chemtech Soul, or Chemtech Drag. Mordekaiser moving down towards the bottom lane though, looking for some entry, seeing if they can get some priority here to move over towards the dragon. Leona is going to entry onto the Varus though, and both Nautilus and Mordekaiser not able to be over there to support, but Tristana already burned her rocket jump, so she can't get away from this. Mordekaiser just going to move over. There's a barrier burn, and there's the Q smash of Void's able to find the kill on Tristana, and the Varus able to find a kill on Leona. A beautifully played by Bosco Tech in the bot lane. It got scary there a little bit early. Varus did have to move up on his own, and Tristana was able to dive in, but Nautilus able to prevent the Leona from doing any additional help. And Tristana just gets marched down by Mordekaiser. And now we see Bosco Tech here early on this dragon. Evelyn possibly looking for an entry for the steal, but it's not going to be one as a Void finds the smite and finds the damage. Evelyn now has to back off. Just loses all of that priority over the objective. Once your bot lane dies, it is hard to go get that dragon by yourself, especially when you're staring down the barrel of 3 champions of Bosco Tech. Cho'Gath just being his annoying self, hitting the knockups, silencing, doing what he can just to keep that ASOL at bay, but even CS now, 41 to 41. But in the top lane, 0. 70 CS to 27. I don't know what Brand is doing, TPing from one tower to the second. I mean, you were right there. You could have just walked up. But once again, I mean, you can... Somehow, this Brand is still the same level as Gwen. I don't know how, being down 50 CS. I guess they've stayed close enough to a lot of the minions, but as I say that, Tristana, once again, just going to entry, hits the rocket jump, gets in, gets a lot of the damage, gets the second reset of the rocket jump off the kill, and Nautilus does not look long for this world, as it is a flash and a root from the Leona. Double kill to the Tristana. Tristana trying to get that lead that she had in the first game, especially after dying once, is also going to hit level 6. So both bot lane champs for Midnight Suns are level 6. Nautilus still level 5 on the side of Bosco. Just a 1k gold lead here for Bosco. I mean, not bad for 8 minutes, but nothing insane. It is going to be a Mordekaiser flank onto the Brand. There's the Q, there's the pull, and there's the final snip to put Brand into a gray screen. Gwen now a kill up, as well as almost 60 CS up. And now they look to engage on the scrubs, looking to get this first objective. Evelyn only level 6, Gwen level 8, but so is ASOL. Cho'Gath, though, going to TP to the ward. So we do have a bit of a 3v2 advantage for Bosco. Let's see what Cho'Gath can do. There is going to be the Skyfall from the ASOL, and there's going to be a Mordekaiser ulting the Evelyn, does get the kill. ASOL just going to fly away to safety as Bosco is able to find one, clear out the jungle, and now turn their attention towards the objective. So Bosco, second game in a row, now with the first 2 objectives of the game. They do have all 3 grubs soon, as well as the first drag. And bot lane applying some decent pressure, just keeping Midnight Suns pushed back. Some good vision that they still haven't cleared out, but Zero looking now to possibly get a solo kill in the top lane. Does get some good damage, but is going to be burning away from that Brand. Tristana has to rocket jump away. The ult in from Nautilus on the Leona, trying to sit there, trying to just do anything to get Varus enough damage to kill, but Midnight Sun's just going to live slightly with 25% HP each, and they are both going to recall here, but that does leave it open for Bosco to get some nice turret damage, and Zero gonna find a solo kill onto the Brand and further the lead once again. This is just turning into another nightmare situation for top lane. Oh, and Nautilus misses his hook, but he finds the kill as the rain of arrows comes in for the Varus, but the charm comes in on the Evelyn over to him as well. So Evelyn finds the trade, actually finds a double. Varus able to get the damage down. Wish that kill would have went over to him, but it went over to the Nautilus. But Tristana does not have near the lead that they had in the last game. And this A-Soul is very weak. I think Cho'Gath, if he can get close and ult, I don't know if he has his ult. Oh no, his ult is still on cooldown, so I think just kind of scaring him. Mordekaiser did kind of look for a little bit of an entry to maybe help that Cho'Gath find the kill, but it's not going to be enough. Is going to take a couple tower shots. Ult is ready for Atomic Logo, but he doesn't have the flash to get forward and use it. So A-Soul just going to recall back to safety, get another item, and now is TPing back to lane. Zero does pop the ult, gets some decent damage into the Brand, chunks him down a little bit, and is just going to keep pushing these waves in the tower. Up 60 CS now, 100 to 41, as well as 2 kills. Riftmaker already in the hands, boots and a Doran's Ring. Brand doesn't even have a full Leandries yet. Evelyn sitting towards this mid lane. But Atomic Logo can sniff it out, and he is just going to recall back to base. I think he might have a full item available. It is going to be a nice route from the Nautilus onto Leona. Does burn ult onto the Leona, is going to have to flash away a nice arrow just to chunk that Tristana and keep her from chasing from Sableye. And as of now, I mean, you're killed down, but Sableye has kept a 10 CS advantage. It is going to be a nice knock-up and a nice silence from Cho'Gath. Get some decent damage in, but the mana just not there, not able to continue that fight. And a nice root there from Varus. Oh, and a beautiful kill onto the Tristana. I don't think Tristana thought he was going to shoot her. He hit the root onto Leona, so Tristana behind the bush thought she was safe, but Sableye just going to absolutely snipe her and find a kill. I think that is honestly going to put him ahead once he has his next back. 13 CS up, even in kills, and also has an additional CS. So Sableye a much better start this game than they had last game, and a very similar situation both for top lane. But the Jungle of Midnight Suns already doing better on this Evelyn pick than they did on the Kindred. Does have 2 kills. But I just think late game, like I don't think there's a lot this Evelyn can do. Like Evelyn is a very feast or famine, and I mean if you're not heavily getting these kills, but it's going to be an exhaust. And it's going to be a dashboard for the Gwen. Zero pops the ult, looking for an immediate second kill, and does find another solo kill onto the Brand after getting the tower. And there's a solo kill for the Mordekaiser Jungle of Voids, looking comfortable on this pick. 3-0-2. Has the CS lead, has the objective lead, and has the kill lead. 1 dragon, 2 grubs versus 1 dragon, 1 grub. And now moving down into the bot lane, a beautiful gank looking for the possible kill in Tristana, but it is going to go the way of the Varus with the raining arrows. Flash forward from Leona, but an immediate flash back from Avoid. Has the pull, has the Q, and has the kill. 4-0-3 for Avoids. Looking mighty fine on this Mordekaiser. Dusk and Dawn in hand. Cloak and boots in the pocket. Looking to build those full Merc treads on the next back. And tower just getting chunked down on this bot lane. That's going to be additional gold for Avoids as he gets a couple plates here while Varus works his way back to lane. 12-5, 14 minutes in, and it's a 7k gold lead for Bosco Tech. Not looking great for Midnight Suns in this game too. And now a charm enabled for the Evelyn, and it is going to be a rocket jump from Tristana, but a nice knock up from the Cho'Gath, and a beautiful root from the Varus, able to find the Tristana, able to find the Evelynn, and here's Nautilus here to support too, and they find a third kill onto Leona. Varus with a triple in mid, Gwen with a solo kill in top, and avoids walking down this Aurelion Soul, but the tower is gonna shut him down. Aesol with 10 HP left finds the shutdown, but the tower is going to die in mid lane, and the second tower is going to die in top lane as Gwen is just tearing through it. Zero, both games now just tearing through the top lane of Midnight Suns. This game is getting out of hand a lot faster than game one for Midnight Suns. The only one who even has a slight lead, I think, is Aesol, and I don't think it's much because Cho'Gath does have 3 assists. We have a CS lead for ADC, a vast CS lead for top lane, a CS lead for jungle, as well as kill leads across the board for every single role but mid where they are tied. This is looking like a phenomenal team game for Bosco. And I mean, like I said it at the start, every team fight you see, you can just see Bosco walk at them because they can. They can just tank all that damage and they just move without needing to stop. Tristana hops in, but like what can she do other than like try to target the Varus? But then you have so much CC from the knockups, from the pulls, from the roots. There's just not much for them to do. But as I say, here's a Leona entry. Here's a rocket jump forward for the Tristana. But a nice route from the Varus is going to hit the Q onto the Tristana. Does get the rain of arrows. Not going to be enough. Possibly can get a snipe. And he does! A beautiful Q snipe from the Varus. Finds a Tristana. Gwen there able to support, and Gwen also going to find the kill onto Leona. That is both players down as Cho'Gath finds a solo kill on the Evelynn. Now looking for a double on the Aesol, but the mana is pretty low for Cho'Gath, and Atomic Logo is going to have to back out of that fight a little bit. But as I say that, Gwen and Varus able to tear down the tier 2 of mid lane. 17 minutes into the game, and this is looking done and dusted. 11k gold lead. There's the flash forward in the silence. There's the knock-up. There's the hard steel stack, and there's the kill. Cho'Gath 3-0-3. That is a hungry boy, and he is eaten. Bosco now looking to get their second drag of the game. Gwen just going to push, going to get this tower, and then dash forward. Does pop the ult to slow down Aesol. Aesol going to use his flight, though, and just get away. Tristana and Leona trying to push this mid lane to get some damage onto that tower, but it's not going to be enough as Mordekaiser is able to deny it, while Cho'Gath and Nautilus get the dragon. That is second drag over to Bosco. Now looking to engage. We have the Nautilus, we have the Varus, and we have the Mordekaiser just looking at this Tristana who is in the Mordekaiser ult, and Tristana has fallen once again 4-7. This is not the game that Hazelnuts wanted. After the first game, Hazelnuts went right back to it and said, you know, I think I can perform better, but it's just not enough as there's so much tanky frontline from Bosco, and they are going to pop Herald. They're going to be pushing towards this mid lane. And this could possibly be game-ending here for Bosco, as they have 4 players in. Tristana's down. Brand and Leona are completely out of position, and they're not even recalling. There's a tower down, and there's an inhib down. It is all 5 players for Bosco now marching down mid lane. There's the Herald proc again, and it's going to hit a Nexus tower. Nexus tower now down to 50% HP. Bosco wants to end this game, and they want to end it right now. Evelynn gets weak, does have to use the ult to get away. Gwen gonna get some more damage on the tower, does use the mist to prevent that Tristana damage, but it's gonna be 1 tower destroyed as Cho'Gath moves up, and Tristana hopping back in. Leona trying to find some stun, but it's not gonna be enough as Gwen finds the ult, uses it again. There's 2 kills. Bosco looking to end. 3 kills now, but there's 3 back for the side of Midnight Suns. It's only Cho'Gath and Varus alive. Make that only Varus, but it's going to be a lot of tower damage coming in. What can Aesol do? And it's not looking like a lot as he flies right past Varus, and Varus is just going to shoot the Nexus. Aesol looking lost. I don't know what this top lane is doing, but they are just not there to support the team. But Varus able to fly back and find the kill, and that is going to be an ace for Midnight Suns as they prevent the game-ending push early on from Bosco. But it is not in a good state. Midnight Suns needs to play perfect League of Legends from here on out if they want any chance to win this game. And Bosco wants to end. They are just saying all in on mid, and I don't see why not. You have the inhib gone, you have the Nexus towers gone, and now you have the damage and the kills. And we see the Cho'Gath moving down 160 Heartsteel stacks. We have the Mordekaiser and the Naut moving in. Mordekaiser from top lane, Gwen moving in now to support from the mid lane. All ults available for the side of Bosco, and it's going to be a kill for Atomic Logo as he eats yet another champ. There's a beautiful root, a beautiful knockup on the Tristana, and Tristana's also in the fall. A Skyfall coming in from the Aesol, but it's not enough damage as he is also going to get knocked up in silence. And there's a Q hammer slam from Mordekaiser, and there's the final 2 kills on their way to victory. Bosco Tech with the ace, Bosco Tech with the win, a 2-0 in dominating fashion. A masterclass Varus performance for the bot lane after a shaky Jhin performance from Sableye. Gwen once again from 0 just looking so good in that top lane. 100 CS lead, 5-1 and 10. And the jungle Mordekaiser looks so comfortable in Avoid's hands. Liam just doing everything he can to support his team. Some beautiful ganks, beautiful objective play. Objective leads both games and just able to put the nail in the coffin. And Atomic Logo, he talked about it before. He likes that Cho'Gath mid. He said he's comfortable on it, and he showed it today. A nice performance from him, both on the Galio and the Cho'Gath as they close it out. And Bosco moves to 6-1 on the season. One more week of regular season before we move into playoffs. It's a good win. It's a very good win. Ethan, how are we feeling? Yeah? Yeah. Thank you, everybody who did tune in. Hopefully, we'll have the full roster back and can hopefully win some this year. Overwatch, like I said, continue their unbeaten streak, so looking good for Overwatch as they push towards playoffs. League looking good. Valorant won last week. They have a game coming up this week, as well as tomorrow. We do have, dude, these names are not correct, and I was not prepared for you to put the camera on. But tomorrow we do have Marvel Rivals stream coming, as well as Thursday we have Valorant. So yeah, Marvel Rivals tomorrow at 4:30. Matt, did Splatoon win today? Splatoon lost today. So that is the one team that lost. Alright, but Matthew Vidari did 3-0 in Smash Solos, so a decent day for Bosco Tech Esports, so thank you everybody who has tuned in. I don't know what you were doing, Adam. But yeah, we will see you tomorrow for Marvel Rivals, and hopefully we can keep the steam rolling on that team if they have won the last 2 weeks. So thank you everybody who tuned in, and thank you always for tuning in to our streams. It means a lot to our players. It means a lot to me and our school community, so hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.